If we explore the concept of giftedness, you will see this is just a definition from Anne-Marie Roper: greater awareness, sensitivity, ability to understand and transform perception into intellectual and emotional experiences. Well, that has a lot to do with intelligence, but there are other things about it. The interesting thing about definitions is that if you talk to 100 people about what it means to have a gifted child, or what it means to be gifted, people who have gifted children, they will have a different definition because they have seen it. People who have an opinion, they will see whatever they have learned or they have seen elsewhere. The fact is that there are a lot of areas that have to do with giftedness, and they are not only cognitive, but they also social, emotional, and physical. So I'm going to explore some of these things. Now, we develop at a different pace. If you develop faster, if you manage to walk at the age of 1 and talk at the age of 2, that you could be more in the terms of the average. But the fact that some people take longer doesn't make them less intelligent. Some people take longer to develop, and what happens is that in these 4 dimensions, gifted kids don't develop at the same rate. So you will have the average student will develop at this rate, okay? So this is the average student in a classroom. Then you will have that, so the teacher is more or less trained to deal with the average student. And manuals and teaching models and everything is developed for them. And that's an interesting thought there. But if you pay more attention, you will find that some of the students will tend to excel in everything. I mean, they develop faster. These high achievers, they understand things also faster. They learn cognitively and physically. They outrun people. They are socially high achievers. I mean, they could be leaders. Emotionally, also, they are a bit more developed in the sense that they become more aware of other people's emotions and their own emotions. So they mature faster, let's put it that way. These are called high achievers. They are not gifted. So when you have gifted kids, what happens is we enter into asynchronous development. So what you will see is that physically, these kids could develop. I mean, the slide shows you like the same as the average. Well, in fact, it could be even lower than the average. I'll give an example. When you're teaching kids, the gifted kids, to write with a pen, for instance, you will find that what we call fine psychomotor skills are not developed at the same rate. They find it difficult. Now, when you find students in the classroom, if you were teaching primary school students and they find 3 students in your classroom, they find it difficult to write with a pen, that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them. Okay, is that it's going to take them longer. So we cannot expect people to behave exactly at the same rate all the time, because what you're trying to do is force somebody to do something they are not ready to do. Now, this person, maybe if you are more patient, can start writing 1 year later or 2 years later. It's not that they're going to start writing thesis or something. So there's no need to panic here. But if you force them, they are going to try to write. And that's why you find a lot of gifted kids writing in very weird ways with pen, though they tend to get bored in class when the teacher repeats things, concepts that they got it the first time. So why are you repeating these things? So if they get very bored because they understood these things, they're always asking themselves, so what? So what else? So what can I do with this? Can you tell me more? Because at the end of the day, they have something inside of themselves, which is, there must be a purpose for this. Why am I learning this? What is the challenge here? They have a hunger for challenge that all the students do not have. See? So that's a cognitive aspect of this. They are more curious. They want to know. So they ask you 20 questions. Socially, though, they still are developing. So they could be not as developed as the rest of the group. Why? One of the reasons could be because they find it difficult to connect with people that they are not as smart as them. And emotionally, they are also very developed. In other words, they feel they have this sense of fairness, which is not. It is not fair for me. Why are you treating me this way? This is not fair for the world, for mankind. So they have a sense of empathy for people that is greater than the normal student, which is some sort of, again, maturity. I feel for you instead of feeling for myself. So it's a little bit more developed and mature in that area. So cognitively and emotionally, the more developed, socially and physically, they are less developed.